The sport of fly fishing captures many a person's attention so profoundly that it eventually becomes a lifelong passion. This is a pastime that is, at first glance, a great sport and an excellent form of recreation. As time spent fly fishing goes by, it becomes so much more than that. Many men and women find that it provides a kind of spiritual retreat. Beginners and veterans alike will tell you that fly fishing satisfies their need for beauty and solitude, as well as ignites a passion for wild and romantic places. Along the way, the fly fisher invariably develops an unprecedented respect for the world's wilderness areas and a desire to protect them and share them with others. The knowledge, skills, traditions, and love of fly fishing are often handed down through generations like a family heirloom. Take Brian Flechsig, for example. He tied his first fly and caught his first fish when he was 7 years old on a fishing trip with his uncle, who taught him the basics of the sport. Over the years, Brian has become quite an expert fly fisherman, so much so that he is one of the leading outfitters in the Midwest. Brian is one of America's new generation of fly fishing personalities and is certified by the Federation of Fly Fishers. In these videos, Brian shares his expertise and skill with you. If you are a beginner in the sport, you will find the help you need to develop the basic skills and knowledge necessary to get into fly fishing. If you've been fly fishing for a while, use this video as a refresher course on the fundamentals.
Getting started in fly fishing doesn't need to be frustrating or overwhelming whatsoever. With the knowledge of a few basic subjects and by mastering just a few simple skills, fly fishing can easily be the leisure time activity and the outdoor sport that you're looking for. I think you'll be surprised at how easy it is to get started after I take you through the basics and give you some of the tips I've learned over the years. Before long, you'll have mastered these initial requirements, and you'll be well on your way to developing your patience and your concentration, which are important to becoming an expert fly fisherman. In addition to what we show you here, I recommend you develop a relationship with your local fly shop. Most of these offer clinics and classes that would be good for you to get involved with. Not to mention, these are the guys that know your local waters the best. Anyway, before long, you'll be pursuing what is sure to become a lifelong passion for the sport of fly fishing and a lifetime of enjoyment. What we're going to do here today is run you through what I consider to be the 6 basic requirements you need to get started in this sport. Then we're going to take you to the water and show you some simple, basic techniques so you can get out there on your own. The 6 basic requirements are: you need a fly rod, a fly reel, a line system, which includes backing, fly line, and a leader system. You need some flies, a few basic accessories, and you need water, preferably with fish in it. So let's take a look at those 6 basic requirements. Originally, fly rods were made out of bamboo. In the mid-1800s, a fellow by the name of Charles F. Orvis actually patented a system of impregnating bamboo, which made it a great material for the manufacture of fly rods. They're still made today, but they tend to be very expensive, and they're not very practical for you as a beginner. But around the time of World War II, along came fiberglass. Fiberglass was used in the manufacture of fly rods, as well as spin casting and bait casting, and is actually still used today. Then, in the early 70s, along came graphite. Graphite was, and still is, the material of choice for the manufacture of fly rods. Graphite is definitely the type of rod that you want to look for when you're getting started. Far outperforms other types of rods on the market. I want to run you through the basic components of a fly rod so you understand the nomenclature a little better. First of all, this is the reel seat, obviously where the reel mounts onto the rod. This particular reel seat is what we call an up-locking, where the reel slides up and then I tighten down the locking rings in an upward motion. There's also such thing as a down locking, where the reel slides into the housing in a downward motion and I screw the locking mechanism down. put the reel on, again, in this up locking, I slide the reel up and in, slide the housing over, and tighten the ring down. And my reel's on. Be sure to get it tight so your reel doesn't fall off. The end of the rod here, or the end of the reel seat, I have what's called a butt cap. Some of these are removable, and some rods have a butt extension that I can add on there. That's helpful. If I'm really fighting a big fish, I can use that butt cap, or that butt extension, to kind of dig into my gut and give me a little bit more leverage. This obviously is the cork grip, or the handle. This is what they might call a cigar grip. Some of these are bigger, thicker, have a little bit more beef up here, so I can get a little bit more leverage with my thumb. That usually depends on the size of the rod. The larger, heavier rods that need more power might have a little thicker, larger grip to them. This is a hook keeper. When I'm moving from place to place, or I put the rod in my car, I might just hook my hook on there, reel it up tight so I don't have the hook dangling and the line getting caught on everything. I move up into the blank of the fly rod. Obviously, that's the rod. Up here I have the stripping guide. The first guide is called the stripping guide. Some rods may have 2 stripping guides, but it's the largest, and it's usually lined with some sort of ceramic coating to make it smoother on the inside. This guide sort of acts like a funnel, which funnels the fly line down through the snake guides. The snake guides continue up the rod until I get to the very tip where I've got the tip top. Now, where the different pieces of the rod go together, these are called ferrules. Obviously, this is where the rod goes together. I've got a male end of the ferrule and the female end, and I simply insert the male end into the female end. Now, years ago, with bamboo rods, the ferrules used to be made out of metal. I'm sure you've seen those before. With today's modern rods, we've got graphite on graphite, which is a much more smooth transition of energy. With this particular rod, I've got a couple of little dots here, and I can simply line up those dots. But if you don't have the dots, simply use your guides to help you get the rod lined up straight.
If you like this video, hit subscribe. It helps out a lot. And check out these videos. We think you might like them too.